Booby trapped.
Butcher.
It's booby trapped.
Hello, buddy.
He made it. He's a good boy.
Good boy.
The Indiana Jones of dogs.
He is. Da, 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 da. Hey,
What's up?
guys.
Hey.
I always want to do the what's guys thing, but I keep
What's
forgetting.
everyone?
Yeah, what's everyone? I keep forgetting what the catchphrase actually was.
What's everyone? I'm going to make a
What's
shirt.
everyone? You should.
I'm
You
going
should.
to.
We need to start throwing it into more episodes. I know you're very conscientious of
Well,
it.
now that you've, told me that I'm fucking up.
Made you super self-conscious.
Yes, you should have just let it roll. I would have never known the difference.
I should have had a counter.
Yeah, exactly.
Just put it at the bottom of the screen. See if you ever noticed.
No, never. Because I'm a natural blonde, apparently.
What's everyone?
Hey, it's great to see you all back, even though we can't physically see you, but we can feel your presence.
We know you're there. We can feel your breath on our necks.
So sexy. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we didn't.
What's up? Is that like a thing that I don't know? Is that a big turnoff for you? Because for me, I
On
cannot.
the back of the neck?
I cannot stand hot whisper breath.
I actually like it.
You do?
It turns me the fuck on.
That's so
yeah,
funny.
just breathe on me.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
don't like little pecks, especially the kind where you can like hear like an audible. Yeah, no,
Like that?
I
Like-
would fucking kill you. Stop it. Oh my God, Sammy!
I do hate the sound of like the mouth opening.
Ugh, like whenever you're watching like a movie or a show, and
Yeah.
they, it's a
They're like
lip
kissing.
smacking kissers.
Yeah, they put a little too much sound effect into the post.
Just a little bit too much. Yeah,
Yeah.
like tone that. God, please stop! It is so loud in my fucking ears right now.
I love it. I love that I can like abuse your ears during this podcast.
Very, very sensitive human. But there's nothing worse than a lip licker.
A lip licker.
Have you ever had that? Like they
Like that?
lick your lips.
Oh, they lick your lips.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, ugh. As soon as people say lick your lips, then I want to lick my lips. It's a
No.
nervous tick.
No. People licking their lips is fine. Just don't lick mine.
Yeah, that's so strange.
Makes you want to
I've
bite your tongue off.
I've never had that. That's
Thank God.
really
No,
weird.
Thank God. Good for you.
How many times has this happened to you?
Fucking twice.
What?
Yes.
That's to say, what maniacs are you dating?
Listen, Angela, we've discussed my dating history.
I mean, yeah.
You've been there for a lot of them.
I guess I'm not surprised, but I am grossed out.
I'm not gonna. It's so gross. It's the worst.
Oh,
And
my
what
goodness.
makes me wonder is like.
You should. They deserve it. And turn their tongue into a snake tongue. Just bite right through the middle. Get out of here. Oh, man. That's funny, though. But
Now that
yeah.
I'm fully cringed out.
Yeah, let's talk about some fights,
Yeah.
huh? We got to go to Bellator 300. It's always fun getting to go with you because you always get the hookup. So I'll always go with Adam to make sure that I'm not in nosebleeds by myself. But I think Mike Kogan was giving you that hot breath on your neck all night long. But it's always fun to go with you because it's just a fun night out, and it doesn't feel as, I don't know, I feel stressed when I go to UFC events as a fan. I feel like I don't know, it's just more like work. Like I feel like I'm on. I feel like I have to be like, ready to, I don't know, jump into the fight. But
Bellator, they're not paying your check, so you can get wasted and have a great time.
yeah, exactly.
They don't care if you get kicked out.
Exactly. I can make fun of some investor and they're not gonna like cut me. I don't know.
Security.
Yeah, exactly. Get her out of here. I'll be like, bye. I don't need you guys. But no, it's definitely a more fun time. I get to let my hair down, and I had a lot of fun at Bellator 300.
I did too. It was a pretty incredible event. It's a little bittersweet in a way because we still don't know what's going on with Bellator.
Yeah, what the heck?
Only rumors are still flying around.
Yeah.
Nobody's actually come out and said what exactly is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's great that people are talking and interested and wanting to know, but it's just rumors Rumors are flying.
Yeah, I want to know what's going to happen, especially because we have a lot of friends who are signed to Bellator who have rankings by their names. So we want to know what's going to happen with them. We want to make sure they're going to be paid. They can buy Christmas presents for the kids. You know, there's a lot that's up in the air, and some of the rumblings that I've heard was that PFL is going to buy it. Other people have said that, they're waiting to see who's going to take over and keep Bellator as its own thing,
entity, or if there's going to be merging, which would mean that there are some really exciting matchups.
There are
some really, really exciting ones.
I'm stoked about that. And, this might be a little foreshadowing, but PFL started putting flyweights in their cards recently. I think their last 2 cards had flyweight fights in there. So that's a big new thing. They only had maybe 2 weight classes, 35 and 45. So 35 and 55. Yeah. Ugh. So that's a big jump. So now that they're including flyweights, that shows that there might be some interest of merging those weight classes.
Definitely.
Not weight classes, but merging those divisions from separate promotions.
Sure. Yeah, you could get some really nice dream matchups. And I mean, if that goes, if they thought at all about like what Bellator likes to do with making those like big exciting fights and kind of odd matchups as well, almost like a little reminiscent of Dream and Pride. I don't mind it at all. They had a really amazing setup, which was very much like the old school Pride, where they had the champions come out on the stage and there were fireworks, and I was like, I said I hope that they gave them little markers near the pyrotechnics so we don't have any singeing of the fighters before they fight.
No Michael Jackson Pepsi commercial. Oh my
gosh. Maybe a little nervous. Carol. And I just put myself in that position. I was like, man, I'm like warming up. It's like before the fight, and they like pull you out and you have to face off with your opponent like right before you go. I don't know. That just seemed like really nerve-wracking to me. I mean, even though you're going to see him in a few more minutes, it's fine. But it just seemed like it's just so dramatic.
So dramatic.
So dramatic.
I feel like it might ease the tension a bit because I don't know, whenever I fight someone, and the last time I saw them was at weigh-ins, when I see them again in the cage for the first time, if I hadn't gotten a peek of them walking around and I see how big they are, all of a sudden, I'm just like, oh, there's a moment of shock, like
God damn, you filled out.
Yeah, I'll weigh in against this chick, and I know she's big, but then I see her at weigh-ins. I'm like, look at you, little thing. What are you gonna do to me? And I feel big, even though I'm just a scrawny. And then the next day, I have this little shriveled out corpse in my head of who I have to fight, and they're like this jacked Alistair Overeem that's 5'2" coming after me, and I'm like, oh shit.
I know exactly who you're referring to.
You are a different fighter. Where's the girl I faced off against yesterday? She's not here.
You have a doppelganger.
Yeah, it's like Wilson and Dilson. Wilson Hayes has a twin brother who is a lot bigger than him, a lot rounder. Yeah, exactly. He's on the huskier side, so I always think it's funny to reference those two. That's what happened. They're just throwing in their doppelganger and making me fight him. Sucks. So I feel like that would be kind of nice to be able to see my opponent and see exactly how big they are right before we fight, just so I can get over it. Like, there's a moment of getting over, oh, she's big, and then you have to be like, okay, whatever.
Accept it.
Yes.
It's going to happen.
You knew this. You knew she was going to be big. Now you see it. Okay. Let's move on.
Yeah. Yeah. I still don't know how I'd feel.
It is nerve-wracking.
I still feel like it would be really nerve-wracking.
I don't think I've ever had to do that.
The beginning of the night. Like, why not? Like, before the show starts.
Yeah. Like, before prelims.
Parading us around like show dogs. Just, make a lap around the cage or around the stage. Just, like, wave with your handlers by your side.
Yeah, it would be nice if they carried them on little chariots.
Oh,
little chairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was meant to be carried around in a chariot.
We need to suggest that for UFC.
I think they'll love it. It'll go over so well.
It will. Yeah, the title fights were pretty crazy, but let's talk about our girl Jenna first.
We have to give Miss Jenna Bishop some props.
So proud, so impressed.
So beautiful.
I know she was frustrated not being able to get submission in her last fight. She got to good positions a bunch, but just felt like the girl was doing a lot to stop her from progressing. And I feel like she just went straight for the kill this fight. She kind of nipped those things in the bud and figured out what she needed to do to get to those submission positions faster. And man, it was really awesome to see. And I was a little nervous in the beginning of the fight. Jenna Bishop, she was fighting
the girl who fought our friend Beck.
And hit a knee bar, so she has good grappling. And my biggest concern was that she was going to be good enough on the ground, because I know Jenna is world class. But I felt like her opponent would be good enough on the ground to defend, and then maybe get up and hit her while she was tired. But the first couple of minutes, it took Jenna a little bit to get her down. She was able to, absorb those kicks and give back a few of her own. And then once she got to that clinch position on the fence, she was able to get that takedown real quick. It's one of our J-Flow takedowns that we practice a lot. But the problem is, because we all practice it, we're kind of aware of it, and you lose that confidence. She went straight to it, knee, reap, got on top, and got the arm bar.
Yeah,
nice.
It was pretty textbook. It was a very beautiful transition submission. Very well done.
Awesome. Good job, Jenna.
Yes. Well
Way
done.
to go. And I'm happy that she didn't get too fucked up, because now she can help me for my fight in Brazil.
Exactly.
I'm so selfish. Like, I'm so happy you're not injured, so you can help me.
You're going to be in the gym on Monday, right? No rest.
Yes.
You barely fought. It didn't even go a full round, so you have no excuse.
That was a brisk walk for her. She didn't even have to break a sweat. It's annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
It must be nice. So, really cool to see a teammate get a win. Gives you a lot of boost for your own fight camp, and especially being able to get that finish and get over that hurdle that she had before is just like really inspirational. So I'm happy that we're getting that momentum going into the end of my fight camp.
Yeah, that energy carries over.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely uplifts the double.
I'm like, ooh, what does that mean?
I was like,
a flip.
I was like, my mouth is not doing what it's supposed to do right now.
Dude, you could have just made up some shit like this is a French meaning, that a French saying, a flips. It means to I don't know. Uplifts for sure.
Yes.
It does.
The energy, the vibe in the gym, it's always really nice.
It is. So, what other fights were kind of big moments last night? Or not last night. We were supposed to film last night, but the celebration was a little too hard. But what other moments?
This amazing thing happens when you hit the age of 40. You get 3-day hangovers.
Oh my God.
Yes. I am still sleeping it off.
We're a little sleepy.
I have one more day of feeling like this. I think that when I wake up tomorrow, I will feel much better, because it's been a rough few days.
Yeah, it's almost sweated out. It just takes a few more days than it used to.
Yeah, and also I have a boot on, so like my means of sweating are very limited.
Yeah.
I recently actually bought a stationary bike, so I can just burn some freaking calories.
Just one leg.
I now have to like try to work out like a normal person, and I have to count calories and not eat carbs. Aww. Do you know why girls are so angry and moody, like normal girls? Because they don't eat fucking carbs, and they barely eat anything, because they don't really need to. They're not like fueling their bodies for anything.
Yeah,
other
it's
than
crazy.
Just like sitting at work,
going to work, maybe walking the dog. Ooh, brisk walk, 15 minutes.
Oh my God, I got my steps in.
So many steps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, it's grim. The future's grim.
It is. I haven't not been working out since I've gotten old, because I started training when I was 24. So I still had like that skinny fat thing going on. Like I had a fast metabolism. I was pretty small already. So when I started working out, like I didn't have a diet. I would still eat shit, and it didn't really affect me. I just not eat dinner and then go to the beach and feel cute. But once you get older, it slows down, and things stick on you. Like they stick on you in the places you don't want them to stick.
Oh yeah, they're sticking. The other day I went to put a pair of pants on, and I was like,
Oh, wait a
These
second.
feel different.
Yeah.
And these are like my like out of fight camp pants.
Oh,
like,
no.
Yeah. So
no.
we, I decided to buy myself a stationary bike and plop it in front of the TV so I don't sit on my butt as much. I can just, get up and pedal.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Pedal to the metal.
As fast as my legs can go.
Fast as that one leg can go.
While staying within zone 2 cardio.
Oh, so sad.
It is. It's tragic.
And it takes so long in zone 2 to actually get the results that you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
need to get on a cleanse.
Fun stuff over here. Yeah, I actually ordered juice this morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're going to be so hungry.
I know. I'm going to be so hungry and cranky like every normal female in the world.
You know what I do when I can't work out and I don't want to get too fat? I just drink my calories.
Well, I did that this weekend.
With alcohol, yeah.
Yeah, I did that this weekend, but
I'm like, a whiskey soda is very low in calories and you will feel full by the end of the night. Full of laughter.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, alcohol cures all. Alcohol, actually, I was telling you, I had this lump on my head from a headbutt. I headbutted our girl Nikki, who also got the win in Combate Global. Nikki Agrier, I think is how you pronounce her last name. But the last week that she was training, I was in her guard and she like broke my posture and we went dunk right on the head. She had a little black eye in all of her media pictures and everything, and it's because of my head. So I've had this lump for the last 2.5 weeks, and I'm like, this lump won't go down. And sure enough, I woke up after our little bender on Saturday and the lump was like barely visible. Like,
dehydrated.
It dehydrated. It's the blood thinned. It went to the rest of my skull like it was supposed to. And because I've been so clean with like my drinking and everything, it had nowhere to go. It was just hanging out here, all healthy and happy.
Well done.
Yeah, I killed it with alcohol. Bye-bye, lump. It's still there a little bit, but no more benders until the fight. So hopefully it goes away naturally.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. So we had a lot of fun during the fights, but let's talk about the title fights. Sorry, I started to fall asleep. Let's talk about the title fight. My brain, that part of my brain just shut off.
You had a Cardi B moment.
Yeah. Like, wake up.
Reset.
Hello. I had a who was it? Joe Biden. Wait, no, not Joe Biden. What's the guy that looks like a turtle who like fucking rebooted on stage? Mitch McConnell.
Oh, I only remember the Cardi B thing.
Oh, what happened with Cardi B?
She glitched.
Did she? What happened?
Like mid-interview, she glitched.
What did she do?
So it was like
Had a question? Had a question been asked? What? She was just like,
yeah, she just like, and then they like snapped her out of it somehow.
shit, maybe.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of conspiracy theory videos like circulating about it because
Like she's a robot.
like, yeah, she's just a plant.
Oh,
Yes.
a clone. One of those, the Clone Wars.
Yes.
Interesting.
A very interesting theory. I can't dive too deep into those things. I just, as they come to me, I will acknowledge them, and then I have to
Let it go.
send them back out.
Just let it go.
I can't.
Yeah.
Can't.
Well, my brain definitely shut off for a second, but let's talk.
I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, I'm back and I'm ready to go. I took a sip of coffee and I'm good.
Woo!
Hey, let's talk about the title fights. First, I feel like we should mention Ilima versus Liz, two women who we've seen a lot of in the gym, just kind of in parallel paths, living in San Diego for a long time, and so have they. And it kind of sucks to see it happen like that. But I feel like they were both. Not they were both, but I feel like it was kind of poetic in a way because they had this relationship. They had this like kind of sisterhood where Liz took her under her wing when she first got into 10th Planet, and she ended up becoming Bellator champ while Liz was in the UFC. Full circle, Liz gets cut off of a loss to Valentina Shevchenko, which is just kind of, UFC going to UFC. And now she's Bellator champion, and then that's who Ilima fought to get her belt back. And it just kind of started off bad because it started off with a bad weight cut, but even before then, it started off with the Hawaii fires and her kind of inserting herself into that whole fight. And I feel like she put a lot of stress on herself, and you kind of got to commend her for being willing to just put that stress on yourself for a cause in the middle of such a huge fight.
No, I think it's a really admirable quality that Ilima has. She's always been really big in her community, for Hawaii, for just everything involving, she's always done that. And I think, it definitely adds a lot of stress on top of fight camp, but it was a really important thing that she was doing. And so I do commend her for that. And I think that they both handled, the pressers and the media, everything leading up to that fight. I thought that they handled it, with class and respect and poise, which is, sometimes challenging to do, especially when you're having all these other things go on.
I got a tingle.
It's okay.
How did this happen?
And I mean, as far as, they had already kind of decided to go their own separate ways once they were both in the same organization and the same weight class. I thought that they handled it as well as they can, as far as I could tell. And I think that when you're in the same division as a friend, I think a title fight is really the only point in which it's acceptable, in my opinion, to take that fight. Otherwise, you respectfully try and go your own paths. And if you end up meeting, it should be at the title.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it easier.
No.
But I think that that's the right thing to do.
At least there's some real stakes involved. At least if you beat your friend, they were the champ, or vice versa. They were good enough to beat the champ, and you're not taking away the ability to get to that opportunity, which is what you would be doing if you fought a friend who might be ranked or who might be on the up and up. And either way, somebody's going to lose that opportunity for at least a chunk of time to fight for the belt. So because this is all of our goals, I do think, that was the perfect point where two friends can fight, is when you're fighting for the belt. And I mean, it kind of makes Aljo and Marab look maybe a bit immature in a sense. Like, not saying that I think that what they did wasn't right, but if you're a businessman and you see Ilima and Liz handle it that way, you're going to expect an Aljo and Marab to handle theirs in a similar way. Hey, if you want to fight for the belt, then fight your friend. You know what I mean? Nobody will blame you. And I think it just shows another way that you can handle that situation in a way where you're not burning bridges.
Yeah, it is curious to me because Aljamain was talking about going up in weight class anyways. He was going to vacate, and now he's talking about wanting the belt. He wants a rematch.
Yeah.
And then Marab saying, I'll fight for the title, but then, this is my friend. It's a weird thing, and they missed out, and now Cheeto Vera is scheduled to fight O'Malley. And I don't think he's next in line, but I think all of this back and forth and whatever communications are going on behind closed doors, it has basically like put them on hold.
Yeah.
For that. And that's not something like one fight to them could make, a huge difference. And I would rather see one of them fight for sure.
Yeah.
Than I would Cheeto, because Cheeto's already won. And he's also not been on a streak that constitutes a title shot, but he does have kind of a
like a case for himself.
Yeah, because he has beat him before. So it's interesting, and I'm sure O'Malley wants that fight back.
Yeah, and it's almost like you have to make that fight now before O'Malley has to fight like who was it that beat Cheeto? Sanhagen?
Yeah.
Yeah, before he has to fight someone like that, because that's a tough fight.
That's a really tough fight.
You know, and he's fighting some other kid who's really tough right now. Oh, is he? No, I don't know who he's fighting.
I don't
next.
know that he's scheduled yet.
Yeah, I think he called out
I've
Marab, but I don't think it's happening,
Yeah.
or I don't think it's been scheduled or anything. But yeah, you have to take that fight now, because otherwise, Sean O'Malley has a good chance of losing that belt against another guy who just has everything to offer, like takedowns, striking, just a lot of stuff to give him trouble. And yeah, it seems like Marab and Aljo might be put on the back burner for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as a
fighting all the toughest matchups to protect Sean O'Malley from a tough fight.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it works out.
Yeah,
when
it
you
does.
when you say no to a title fight, you get thrown the toughest people just so you can be kind of cannon fodder for these tough people and not allow them, either beat them so they can't get to the title fight, or give them such a tough fight that the champ has all this material to game plan against.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Hope it works out though, because I love your little bromance, guys.
I know,
I love
it's
it.
adorable. No, I love it. I love seeing it. I love, you
Yeah.
know, and I mean, how can you not form such like a strong bond while you're, you know, in the trenches together and, you know, supporting each other? I love it. I really wish it had worked out, you know, the way that they envisioned. But I think there's also an opportunity when things don't work out exactly the way that you think they should, or the way that you were trying to manifest them to. There's also an opportunity to pivot and you know, kind of move from there in a different way.
Yeah.
It's okay that it didn't work out that way. Maybe it worked out better for you that way.
Yeah, I think Aljo needed a break. So
Yeah.
I think it definitely worked out for him. Maybe, I mean, I feel like it didn't work out for both of them in the same way, but Aljo needing that break, needing to recharge, him going on Polaris and getting a big sub, just being able to, I don't know, just kind of stretch out and take a break from that champness might be really good for him. He might be able to hit a good reset and be able to come back into his career really strong next time he gets out there. But let's get back to Liz and Alima.
Yeah.
What did you think about the fight?
I thought that Liz had an edge going into it. Obviously, she's very strong, very powerful. And she's been, you know, looking really sharp in her previous fights as far as like executing her game plan very well. So when she started to dismantle Alima, I thought it was, you know, only a matter of time before it ended the way it did.
Yeah. I thought, I'm sorry, keep
No, I was
going.
going to say, have you heard anything about the state of her knee?
I haven't heard the official, like, what's going on with it. I don't know if it's a tear.
Assume, yeah.
Yeah, it could be a tear. It could have just been the punishment, because it, like, we've seen what happened with like Uriah Faber, Jose Aldo. It could have just been the accumulation of just hits, and it didn't actually tear anything, but just injured it to the point where your leg can't move. So she's gonna have to, or we're gonna have to wait to hear like what the actual like MRIs look like, and if there's anything torn in there or not. But I feel like she's had kind of a messed up knee for a while, and maybe this is finally the fight where she has to decide to get it fixed, because that was a clear demonstration of how to beat someone, you know, like the way that she was able to hone in on that leg and just keep pounding on it. And I thought Alima was doing good at first. Like, part of me was like, she could be up 2 rounds just because of the volume, just because Liz hadn't really opened up yet. She wasn't attacking as much as she was defending, and it didn't look like anything that got through hurt, or really that anything got through. But it was just the fact that Alima was coming forward and she was throwing stuff. I was like, you never know, she could be up 2 rounds. And then the leg kick started landing, and then she really started showing that pain every time it landed, and we were screaming like, go Southpaw, like that stupid Jake Gyllenhaal movie, go Southpaw, because the lead leg was beat up. And I at a certain point, like especially if you don't have that defense from the opposite stance, you just don't feel comfortable switching to that stance and trying to fight for your life with your Bambi leg in the back now. It's just, you still have no power. You still have no way to push forward. And what I think the game plan was get Liz down and get to her back or something. You don't have that push when you get your leg chopped up. So it was kind of unfortunate to see it go down like that, especially the way that her knee buckled when she threw that punch. It looked bad, and I'm hoping it's not super serious and she'll be able to just be able to get back to walking around even pretty soon. But yeah, it's always rough to see a fight in that way because, as you know, just having that inability to use your legs, it can be more disruptive in your life than not being able to like use your arms or whatever. Or one arm at least. You cannot use both your arms. That would suck. But if one arm is in a sling, you can still get it. You can still move around a bit. Like if I'm hoping her leg isn't too messed up.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
We had another really big title fight with the ladies. We had Cyborg versus Ngannou. And that was a long time coming. There was a lot of buildup, a lot of tension. It went the way that I think most people thought it would go. Kat just really wasn't able to mount any kind of offense, and I feel like it was a good stoppage, but it also could have come a little bit early. But at the same time, the way the fight was going, I thought it would end up that way.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I haven't seen like the post fight interviews or anything. Did she say that it felt early? Or
I don't know that anybody said it felt early.
Yeah, it did look like a little just a little like, hey, wait a second.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times the refs look at the body language, and because it could have just been the way she felt, because she came in real hard. And almost did like that knee tap that
she
Dom
tried
does.
To step around.
Yeah, and she just got like kind of clipped with the uppercut as she was coming in, and it spun her around. So whenever a ref sees your back completely turned to a fighter and they're attacking you, then they're quick to jump in.
Sure.
So I think just the fact that she was just kind of stuck in that position for more than a couple seconds, and Cyborg was, on the prowl,
very offensive,
being very cyborgy.
Yeah.
I think that's why they jumped in so soon. And it had happened previously, like you said. Like it was like the same exact combo happened twice in that 2-minute exchange, and she just like went for the big takedown, got kind of clipped. It must have been part of the game plan, like that little step back uppercut when somebody comes in nice and wide. You just kind of step back, you bring that lead foot back, and put your whole hip into it, and those punches,
a lot of power.
Yeah, it's a lot of power, and you don't see it coming.
Yeah,
like you don't see it until it's on. Well, you don't see it until you're on the ground and you see the replay, because it's just a sneaky little punch. Like it's like right below your eye line. So I think that just being caught off guard like that, and the amount of pressure that she had coming in for that big takedown, the two things just added to that big reaction after she got clipped. So yeah, it's a little oops.
It's all right, I got a boot on.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's all right, that's what that thing's for. Is your toe okay?
Yeah.
Is your toe okay?
My toe's fine. It might be broke. It might be broke, but that's all right. I don't need my toes. It's just the rest of the foot I need. Sorry, I kicked the boot. What was I gonna say? Yeah, it was a little disheartening because the whole fight camp, Kat was just small. She's not a 45er, and even Liz said it in her build up to the fight that Liz feels like she's more of a natural 130 pounder. 125 is a little hard of a cut for her, and 135 is too big. And the same could be for Kat, or maybe she's at 135, or they don't really have 135 in Bellator. And doesn't look like they're going to get it if they're getting sold either, but it's just kind of disheartening. And that's another matchmaking kind of thing that might happen. You might have a lot of these 145ers and 125ers who are floating in between coming to PFL and join their 135 weight class.
It makes sense that you have, if you're going to have 45 and 25, you need to have 35. It only makes sense. Although I'm sure that by taking out the 135, you force people to stay in the divisions. There's no division hopping. It kind of makes a very clear line because that's one to the other is a huge jump. So I kind of understand that kind of perspective of it. But yes, it makes sense for 125, 135, 145. It's just a necessity,
Yeah, because once you get to the top of the food chain, it's always going to be the biggest fish. It's the Cyborg is by far the biggest woman signed to Bellator, and she cuts weight like a champ. And when she shows up, she looks huge and scary. Yeah. So it's hard for the smaller girls who are fighting in that weight class to compete. And like we always talk about the size difference in just one weight class and just like 115. The jump between 115 and 125 is huge. And you see a lot of girls cutting from the 50s, 150s to make it to 115, and they do it like champs. Like, I'm like, hey, you earned it, I guess, because I would not be cutting 35, 40 pounds for a fight. I feel like I'd break in half. But
no, it's insane to me that people do that, but I also understand that it's a huge advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I like 105. That's why I will suffer and nearly die to make that weight class, because it's better for me, because 115 feels big for me. The girls feel big because you're dealing with people that are coming down from 2 weight classes above. Yeah. It's a big difference.
Well, you might be coming down from 2 weight classes above now that you have that boot.
You're so funny. Oh my God, she's so funny.
But I digress.
Do you?
I digress. So that was one of those matchups that had to happen, even though Kat was on the smaller side, and I feel like she'd be more competitive at 135. But Leah McCourt, she had a big win.
She has been looking amazing. Now, I said before, I thought she beat Kat. I thought it was a really, really close fight. I thought she did, and I was really, really impressed with her in that fight, and I was very impressed with her the other night.
Yeah, she was meaner. She was more mean.
She
was aggressive.
Very, very put together. She knows what she wants to do in the fights. She has, answers for problems, and she just looked like a woman on a mission. Yeah,
and I think Kat was a good litmus test for her, because she was able to go back to the lab and then come up against someone who presents similar problems in Sarah McMahon. She's not as like grindy as Kat, but she still has like that wrestling pedigree. She still has like, she's adequate on the feet, like has been doing it long enough that she knows how to hit and how to move and how to put everything together. That veteranness, you know what I mean? So Leah McCourt was able to go back, make some adjustments, and then come out and just smash Sarah McMahon and looked mean doing it. Like the way she just was like, no, I'm passing your guard.
Move those legs.
And move those legs. I'm going to hit you with my big long arms. It was really impressive. I felt like she went back to the lab and made a bunch of improvements. So that might be the next fight for Cyborg if we have another Bellator with Cyborg fighting for a title.
Yeah, well,
or defending a title.
The weird thing is, so they brought her into the cage afterwards. Right? I was sitting where I wasn't supposed to be sitting, but I was sitting there.
Sitting near the hot breath that got you the premium tickets.
But I they brought her cage side for that fight, and they brought her into the cage afterwards, and it makes sense, and it was crazy because she's actually taller than Cyborg. She's like huge. A head taller. I was like, okay, that's a big girl.
No, when she faced off a Cat, I was like, what the fuck?
I didn't I guess, recognize the size discrepancy when they were in the cage, because there were like a lot of grapple scenarios and stuff like that. But when I saw, I was like, oh yeah, she's ginormous.
She's a scarecrow.
She's a big girl.
Yeah. Tall drink of water.
But they brought her in there as, it would make sense to bring her in after a big win like that and announce the next contender, which she should be and technically is until we figure out what's going on.
Unless it's Kayla Harris.
But then also what I heard is that like there's another Bellator fight scheduled.
Yeah, our girl Sumiko is scheduled to fight on that, and a bunch of other fights apparently. So I think they even have a location. Where is it? Like Chicago?
That was Chicago.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on with that. Hopefully these guys aren't training for no reason. Hopefully there's definitely a fight happening, but no one knows right now for sure.
Just all of a sudden it's going to be PFL or some other fight organization. I don't know.
Yeah, PFLB. PBFL. It's like TGIF. And then I have to admit, I didn't watch it. But did you catch the last fight? The Nurmagomedov
versus Primus?
Usman. Yes.
I did.
Okay. How did that go? I was out getting Jenna's dogs for her because she needed her dogs.
That's kind of where it went blurry for me.
Oh no!
I mentioned earlier that I have a hangover.
Oh no! Do you remember the premise of the fight?
I thought it was short, and he may have gotten knocked out or submitted.
Okay.
I can look it up right
now. Yeah, we should look it up because I heard it
up.
went to the decision, but I didn't double check.
Again, who knows?
All hearsay. And it's like Schrodinger's cat, This
little phone tree.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually excited to watch that fight, but I had to catch up on UFC today, so I didn't get to watch that one. But I heard Usman Nurmagomedov won.
Yeah, he did. Okay, for sure. I just can't remember the method, but I thought it was a fast fight. I could be totally wrong.
It was fast for you.
It was all a blur like the rest of my night until I saw footage of what you and I did at the.
Oh yeah, we need to post that.
oh, we will.
Yes. Yeah. It was,
I guess it was a decision. Yeah, I guess I didn't watch it.
Decision. Well, there were probably moments where he almost submitted and almost knocked him out.
And people are saying Brent Primus was robbed, but.
Oh wow! Ooh, we got a robbery to talk about.
We do. That was next up on the ballot.
Yeah. Maybe we should go to our break.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Come hear our thoughts because we got some very strong.
We got some strong thoughts for these decisions that are happening. Yes, if you're not a subscriber, you're going to miss out. So make sure to subscribe.
You don't want to do that.
To UFC Fight Pass because we got a lot of fun things to say. We're fun girls.